nice guy. I do. I like the nice guy.
Fantastic. We need more women like that. Make sure you tell your friends. Tell your friends how worth it is to date the nice guy and that we all should be doing it. Tell them to tell their friends too.
Another list of reasons why I hate men. Men are sloppy.
No, men are busy building the roads and buildings that we use every day. Would you call those sloppy?
Men are hypocrites.
You realize it's women saying, respect our boundaries! But then in the next breath, if I say no, chase me more!
Men are insensitive. Men are liabilities. Men are the downfall of humanity.
Men built humanity! Without men, you wouldn't even have the phone that you're using right now. Or the internet. Or the building the house that you're in. She does this for like over a full minute. How is it okay to even post this to begin with? We all know a man couldn't make a video like this. Not only that, but nobody should be making videos like this. Like you don't know all men. There are hobbies out there, you know. Also, you're scaring away all the great people out there when you make videos like this. These videos aren't funny, or I don't understand the goal of these.
Trying to explain to a man that if a girl says to leave us alone, do anything but leave us alone. Unless it's said multiple times, but most of the time, girls just like, we want the attention. We want you to like...
No means no. And if he keeps pursuing after you say no, he could end up in jail. And who cares if you want the attention? If you constantly need external validation like that, you might need some help. It's not his job to give that to you. So what, you can friend zone him anyways? What benefit do men get out of this? Nothing. Men respect our boundaries. That's why when you say no, they go about their day. That's not the case at all. We're expecting more and more out of men every single day. We compare our relationships to what we see on social media. We compare our relationships to media we consume, whether it's a book or a movie. And these are often unreachable because we're only seeing one side of it, and a lot of these are fictional relationships. We see the good, not the bad on social media. We don't see a photo of like an elaborate thing that he did for her, and then 20 minutes later see the huge argument they got in afterwards, or how dysfunctional their relationship is on a constant basis. Some women are on this app constantly talking about all the expectations they have out of a man, but if a man had the same expectations out of her, she would not be able to meet them either. Because we expect our partner to not only be a perfect partner, we expect them to be our best friend, our therapist. We expect them to potentially make most, if not all, the money, and also help around the house and cook and clean. You might expect your partner to also be a good parent, a good maintenance person, good at fulfilling your emotional needs, someone that can entertain you and keep things fun at all times. And one person can't always do all those things perfectly. And I also feel like when you say we raise our tolerance to bad behavior, a lot of ladies go into relationships looking for the wrong things. They demand having a man that's super tall, not realizing that really doesn't bring anything into the relationship. They expect him to make more. That doesn't necessarily mean that he knows how to manage his finances effectively. You did say it. You told him exactly what you wanted. But he didn't hear you because he didn't realize you were talking to him. A lot of us ladies, we like to talk. A lot. About everything. We're venting, we're rambling, and we think through things as we say them. And that's totally fine, but to a man, it's like the TV playing over in the next room. He's not trying to ignore you, but he probably thinks it's not directly directed at him. So later when you're upset and you realize he didn't remember what you were rambling or venting about that day, you probably said it when he wasn't paying any attention. And he didn't register it as a serious conversation, because men and women tend to communicate and do things a little bit differently. For some of us ladies, it's a little bit easier for us to multitask. We can do something while we're talking to a girlfriend and we're listening to everything that they say, and it's not an issue. That's why when you talk to a man, it's best to just get straight to the point. And if you really need him to pay attention, make sure you're taking the delivery seriously. He told you he didn't want a relationship, but you thought you could change his mind, and then when he didn't, you're mad at him. What? He said, I am not looking for a relationship right now. And your thought process was, okay, challenge accepted. He didn't lie. He didn't mislead you. He told you from day one. But you thought all I have to do is cook for him or sleep with him and act like a girlfriend, and then he'll make me one. That's not how it works. Because eventually you thought he would turn around and be like, I didn't want a relationship, but you're too perfect. I'm gonna date you right now. And here's the thing, you didn't see him as a person, otherwise you would have respected his boundaries. You saw him as a project. And you thought your body and effort would override his feelings. And I mean, did you even love him if you didn't respect his boundaries? Or did you just love the idea of him loving you? Now men, if you don't want a relationship, freaking stand on that. That's valid, no matter what your reason is. You don't have to play the boyfriend role out of guilt. You don't owe her anything. And at the end of the day, if you end up spending time with her, she's just gonna accuse you of using her. Even though you told her from the start what your intentions were. Sometimes this happens because there are some women out there who believe that they're always the exception. And that's why sometimes they go after married men, thinking that they can win him over from his wife that he's been with for years. He told you he didn't want a relationship. Now listen.
And even for some of these women who go after married men, it's not necessarily that they want the man to leave their significant other. It's just that they get off on doing that. Oh, this is something that makes me feel good. You know, I can get a taken man. I can get a man that, you know, he already has a family, but, you know, he's over here spending money on me and I don't have to fight with other women because he's taken. And presumably it's me and the other woman, but I can deal with that because I really don't want any attachment. I want him to go home. That type of stuff. These modern women continue to say they don't care anything about anybody else's opinions, how they feel. Like I said in other clips, not the dog, not the cat, not their parents. They don't care about what anybody else says. As long as it makes sense to them, as long as in their mind, they can reason out, oh, I'm just doing it for the plot. Even if they get trashed, even if they get dogged out, oh, I did it for the plot, so at least I know. You already knew before you did it for the plot. You already knew that. You're just wasting time. And now that you wasted time, your body count is higher. You're a little bit older. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to have the kids that you said that you wanted. Now you've been messing around with this man. You're 5 years later talking about, I wish I would have settled for the good guy. The guy that was willing to pick me up from work and take me out to lunch just to hang out. I wish I would have settled, quote unquote, for that guy versus the man who never even so much as bought me a Big Mac. But I still wanted him. I had his babies. They do it. And then once everything goes wrong, they're going to try to blame it on the man.
Signs you need to stop making excuses for her because she doesn't respect you. She's constantly dismissing everything that you say or constantly interrupting you. And I'm not talking about the occasional accident where she genuinely feels remorse and apologizes. I feel like we all cut people off every once in a while by accident. If it feels like a battle just to try to have a conversation with her, that's not respectful. Next, she's constantly flaking on you or she's constantly late. And I know there's people out there who are late often and it's not great, but she should be respecting your time and do her absolute best to fix whatever issue's causing her to be late. Next, she criticizes you in public or in general. It's one thing if she's bringing up something that bothers her that you did. That should be done in private though, not in front of your friends or family or even people you guys don't even know. Or she tells embarrassing stories where it's kind of self-explanatory that everybody shouldn't know about it. Next, you're not included in her life. And that's if you actually want to be and you've expressed. So I know some relationships are a little bit more slow and you guys eventually get to the point where you're meeting each other's friends and family and it takes a little bit longer. That's fine if you guys are both happy with the amount. But if you've included her in multiple areas of your life and she hasn't done the same, she might not respect you enough to do those things or be proud enough about you. Because she should kind of want to show you off because she's proud of you and excited to be with you. She speaks badly about you when you're not around. Anything she says to others should be stuff she's willing to say to your face. What are some ways that you are betraying yourself in a relationship? You're staying silent to keep the peace. The problem with that is, if you have all these underlying problems that you haven't brought up and talked to her about, over time, you're just gonna grow resentment for those things. And I'm not talking these little things that irritate you about her, because we all have things in our partner that we find a little annoying, but we love our person anyways. You're never gonna like anyone 100%, and I know most men understand that already. But you're not really avoiding a lot of problems when you keep the peace and be quiet, because it will come out in other ways. Next, you allow yourself to be fully comfortable and you stop growing or going towards your goals. And if she's the type of woman that discourages you from this, huge red flag. You should have things outside of the relationship that you enjoy doing. Bring value into your life that's perfectly healthy and justified. Next, feeling guilty for having needs. I know a lot of men, they don't have a whole lot of expectations. They're very simple, but you still have needs, and that's okay, and it's fully justified to bring those things up and actually expect to get what you want. You are not asking for too much. The people that claim that they have high standards, but the reality is they just have superficial expectations that don't bring any actual value into relationships. And then they wonder why they're single and can't find a high value person when someone's value does not depend on that crap.
To do when you find out that you're being cheated on is rob him.
You want the best revenge for him cheating on you? You break up with him and you move on. I know that doesn't sound super exciting or fun or anything, but if there is any chance that he's going to regret what he did, if you move on and you build a better life for yourself, you develop yourself, you become the absolute best version of yourself. Down the road, after he's cheated on 3 or 4 more ladies, he's going to look back and be like, man, I really screwed things up. Maybe. I mean, if he has the ability to self-reflect. But if you do these bad things to him to get revenge, you just confirmed his reasoning for cheating on you. Because often, people who cheat in general, men and women, they know what they're doing is wrong. But if you give them anything to work with, they will rationalize it to themselves. So they can rewrite history, and it's overall a defense mechanism they use to see themselves as the good guy in the situation. So if this is your default route whenever someone wrongs you in any way, people are eventually forced to face the consequences of their actions because it catches up with them. Oftentimes people will do things over and over again throughout different relationships or different situations. And while they rationalize it to themselves a few times and they're good, eventually it stops working. And to be fair, ideally you move on so you don't feel the need, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the revenge to hit or the karma or whatever you want to call it. So hopefully you're not sitting there like that, but it might make you feel better to know things usually catch up with people. So also, if you rob him, you could go to jail. The problem with some women is they confuse a man's passion for being needy or desperate, and then they write him off early. Sometimes he pleads, he raises his voice, he tries to explain to you, and he lays his soul on the table because he's trying to keep the relationship alive. He's not trying to win anything. He loves you and wants to be with you. But you treat that intensity like a weakness. And then you end up with another guy later that doesn't show any passion. And then that man, he goes silent because he no longer feels it's worth it. His efforts weren't acknowledged. Things didn't get better. You train him and teach him that expressing his feelings just makes things worse. So he finally gives up on being understood. Maybe you think, I didn't do that, but you actually did. Through 1,000 little dismissals. One eye roll at a time. You telling him he's overreacting or shutting him down, and now you're crying because of his silence that you created. And men, just because you go silent doesn't necessarily mean you've given up. Sometimes you have to choose that because nothing else has worked. You were told to communicate and you tried. You expressed your feelings, and every time you did, you were mocked, ignored, or even punished. So now you're detaching, and that's a natural response. You can't keep that effort up forever, and it's understandable. When women panic about men going silent, it's because they often miss being pursued while they didn't do a whole lot. They never imagined that man would eventually stop when he noticed that it was unequal in effort. And now you want his fire back? Men, tell me if this has happened to you.
Don't take him out. Don't spend a dime, don't spend a nickel, don't spend a penny. Go somewhere that is free. And if she is unwilling to go there with you, don't go out with her. Talk to her on FaceTime, talk to her on the phone.
Well, where's the action?
If she wants something from you without knowing you, she's playing you.
I love this. I gotta admit though, as someone who used to be very shy, if a man wanted to FaceTime me before I was able to meet him, I would probably feel a little awkward. I used to be scared of being on camera. So that might be the case for some ladies, but those ladies will be more than happy with a coffee date or a walk or whatever. Yeah, like she says, you don't need to spend money.
Maybe not a FaceTime. I mean, personally, I would have done a FaceTime, right? I'm not coming out of the house unless it's going to be a FaceTime, right? But you can text, you can have a phone call, just some sort of verification. I think that's only fair. A lot of times women want to go on the T app. They want to go on the are we dating the same person? I think there was a woman, I was scrolling on social media the other day. There was a woman asking about a man that she didn't even know. I think her sister was maybe talking about seeing him. She's like, well, this is for my sisters, not me. Trying to see if, anybody knows this man. And people were like, what are you doing? Why are you being weird like that? Stop doing that. But that's what women do. They get out there and they look for information, and it's okay. Oh, we got a T app to where, we can highlight all of the red flags, but then also we can do background checks, and it's just a safe space for women to yada, 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 yada. But then when a man wants to do his due diligence and his research, and a man, get this, starts to do what he told you to do, he vets how he told you to vet a man, all of a sudden that's not what y'all want.
How hard it is to date somebody whose dad never told them no, bruh? A true daddy's girl, bro?
It's hard for us daddy's girls out here too, because every time I date a man and he want to tell me no, all I can think is, okay, but my daddy would. So why are you with me if you're not going to take the place of my father? Right? Because how come if I called my ex to come fix my flat tire, he want to say, oh, you need to learn how to do this stuff because what if I'm not around? My daddy will be around. And then he want to say some crazy hypothetical situation. What if your daddy's not around? Well, daddy's always around, but in some rare occurrence that he's not, he pays for my AAA Gold Platinum. So either way, the tire's getting fixed. So I suggest you shut the hell up and fix my tire, boy. That should be so aggravating. Like, I'm literally just a little teenage girl. I'm not changing no goddamn flat tire. And on that note, my dad wouldn't have been. He'll change my flat tire and take me out for lunch and apologize for the inconvenience. So really, you should be thanking me for allowing you to fix my flat tire. It's a good opportunity.
My gut feeling tells me that this woman's gonna end up having a wonderful life. She's gonna get everything that she wants from her cats. They're treating you like equals. That's what we asked for. Not only that, but let's be realistic here. If more men offered up their seat, a lot of women would automatically assume that he expects something out of it, or that he's flirting with her. He could be a married man. Or some women would even get angry. Oh, what, you don't think I'm capable of standing up? Men literally can't win. He opens the door for a woman and gets yelled at for the same thing. Men don't owe you anything. And this entitlement here is a big reason why a lot of men don't want to do these things. Because you're expecting it. You're mad that they're not doing it automatically. So what, if a man realistically offered you his seat, would you have said thank you? Would you have...
Okay, so men are supposed to open doors for women, but women don't even have to hold the door open for a man? I was literally just at the store dropping off a package, and there was a woman in front of a man, and I was behind the man. She flings the door open, and it almost hits the guy in the face. And it's not like he was far enough away where it would have been awkward for her to sit there and hold the door open. He was right behind her. This poor guy was so close to getting smacked in the face. Tell me how that is acceptable in any way. Oh, and even though he almost got hit in the face, he made sure to hold the door open for me, so I was good.
Because we have asked men for years to respect our boundaries. And men have heard us loud and clear. This is why so many men have given up on dating, because they're told, oh, if I reject you, you need to pursue me harder. Or if I say no, no means no. So what is it? Yes means yes? No means yes? No means no? He has to just read your mind? Seriously? Personal opinion, muscles on women are too masculine. Yeah, that's a valid opinion. Sudden insecure, really? Even men that can do a pull-up, some men are not attracted to the muscular build. It's a perfectly valid preference. Why are men not allowed to have any preference when it comes to appearance? Because anytime they voice it, you have thousands of women putting men down for that. Isn't it better they be honest and straightforward if that's not their thing? It has nothing to do with insecurity. We're all attracted to different things. No man is telling you, oh, you can't go to the gym and get muscle because I'm not attracted to that. No man's telling you that. You just might not be the type of woman for some men out there, and that's okay. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I just don't get it. Women can have all these requirements in appearance-based qualities that are incredibly shallow and things that men can't even change, like height. But if men have any kind of preference on appearance-based qualities, and usually they're ones that we can change. Whether he's attracted to a more natural-looking woman, maybe thinner, whatever it is. We usually can change these things. Is it that men are undateable, or is it that they're just not playing into the games anymore? There are a lot of healthy, stable men out there, but a lot of ladies focus on the wrong things. And it's always funny when you see videos like this because you know the person probably has some work to do. Otherwise, they would know better than to accuse a whole gender of being undateable. That's just ridiculous.
Some of these women do actually know. They just don't care. They want to vibe and they want to flow in their divine feminine, and they want to rock out, and they want to do things for the plot. Really, honestly and truly, they want to waste time. They want to waste their time. They want to waste everybody's time. They want to especially waste your time. Want you to spend all your money, be head over heels for them. And then when they get done with you, when they get bored and tired of you, then they send you back out to the street. Ah, man, he was just my little boy toy. And they think they're in a movie. You guys are lame. The way you guys move around, lame. Loser mentality. Loser behavior. Wasting men's time. But when a man dog you out, bend you over, knock you down, and then do whatever he wants for you, do whatever he wants with you, and then send you on back out to the street, all of a sudden he wrong for that.
It's different for guys. You're wired to handle rejection. You get used to it.
Yeah, sure.
No, they're not wired to. And they don't get used to it. They just have to do it over and over and over again. Because they know that's the only way they're going to get what they want out of life. And I think dating would be easier for everyone if women were the ones that approached and asked men out. Because a lot of women take men's effort and putting himself out there for granted. And I think if women had to start doing it and realize how hard it was, and we wouldn't even feel the full amount that men have faced. Because men are often very kind and gentle about rejecting a woman they're not attracted to. I feel like this would help bridge the understanding between men and women. To realize how much effort men have put in over the years. Where it's not acknowledged or talked about. It's just expected.
Dislike short men because of their height. I dislike them for who they are as a person. Like, it's their personality. There's a certain personality trait that 9 out of 10 of them possess that I hate. Like, if you're under 5'11", I actually don't care to hear it.
Notice she never specifies what trait that is, because I have a feeling that if a tall man acts in that exact same way, it's okay, as long as he's not short. It's not about the personality trait. And do you hate these men because they actually have boundaries? That they actually have expectations out of dating, and that makes you mad because you see them as less than because they're shorter? You think that they should just tolerate whatever disrespect is dished out to them? These men don't put you on a pedestal just because they're short. They're not going to worship the ground that you walk on. They don't care about the filter that you have on the dating app. And I think this is what makes some women so mad. Imagine if a man made this video but based on women's height. Oh, I hate their personality trait. We wouldn't put up with that for a second.
Sometimes I see a girl so exceptionally beautiful that her boyfriend just pisses me off. Like, what could you have possibly done to deserve this?
Yeah, that's because appearance isn't everything. He might be a good, loyal, solid man, and that is more important than what he looks like at the end of the day. And heck, I doubt that woman sees her man in that light. She probably finds him very attractive and handsome. It's so sad that some people think appearance is literally everything, and only so much of it is in your control. They forget the qualities that actually matter. He could be the most loyal, kind, and loving man on the planet, and you still see him as less than because of the way he looks. And is this video supposed to be some sort of woman empowerment? Because I'm convinced that the majority of the videos that are meant to empower women are actually encouraging women to break up with a good man. Because there's genuinely some women out there who are so miserable, they want other women to join them. I mean, why else would a video like this even be a thing? You say you want a healthy relationship, but the second he doesn't play games with you, and not these kind of games, you're not interested? That's why you can't find a happy relationship. Or maybe he doesn't like driving. And heck, in some relationships, maybe the woman likes to drive. And if driving bothers you that much, you can just say that. And maybe you guys can take turns or figure that out. In some cases, maybe he's just tired and wants a day off from driving. I hate videos like this because it turns something that might be just a matter of preference into this huge red flag and makes a couple that might be otherwise happy be like, oh, are we in a bad relationship? Is it not working? Does he not actually like me? And then she starts second guessing herself, and then she might take it out on that man. I think this is another one of those things also that shouldn't just be taken for granted. We should be appreciating our man if he does these things and we genuinely like that he does this thing. Too often we act like everything that he does is the bare minimum baseline thing, instead of realizing that it's a genuine contribution to the relationship. And real good relationships are about giving to each other. So if you're sitting there having all these demands being like, if he doesn't do this, this, and this, he hates me, then you're setting your relationship up for failure.
These modern women don't want to do anything. Not a thing. In relationships or outside of relationships, they don't want to do a thing. If he makes you drive, then he hates you. Does that go for if you make him drive? Thinking about a woman in one of the clips where she was essentially saying, I live in the Chicago area, and a man, I think he tried to set up something, and it was closer to him and in his neck of the woods. And so for me to drive, I would have to drive an hour, and I don't know if it's worth it. And women in the comments were hyping it. Oh yeah, you should never have to do this. You should never have to do that. Then why is it okay for a man to have to drive? Why is it okay for him to have to fight traffic? He had to get off work too. That man might have gotten off work later than you. Might have not been able to go home. But you've been at home all day, sleeping, chilling, getting ready for the date, quote unquote, while this man had to work, then get off work, drive an hour, fight through traffic. Then he has the honor of paying for the dinner. What? What kind of deal is that? Number one. Number two, some women in the comments are like, oh, if he wants you to drive out there to him, then tell him you need an Uber. So let me get this straight. You want that man to not only pay for the dinner, which is probably going to be about $200, let's say $150. He's already in it for $150. Let's say the Uber ride. I know for Uber, depending on what time it is, going 20, 30 minutes up the road, they want to charge you $40. So let's tack on another 30, 80, 90 bucks, not including tip. So 90, let's call it an even 300. He's already in it for 300. How is that a deal? Because you don't want to drive. Because you can't make any effort. If he makes you drive, then he hates you. If you make him go through all that effort, spend $300, $400, $500, first date, and then you turn around and say, I don't know if you're for me. She hates you.
Talking to a guy in 2025 is so embarrassing because you have to ask them basic questions like, does your wife know you're getting a divorce? Does your wife know that you're here with me right now?
Really, the majority of married men are not out dating women. I don't like how this is painted as like all men. Anytime you go on a date, he's married. And I feel like the constant videos that are similar to this one are just teaching a lot of women that they can't get a loyal man no matter what they do. When the reality is there are a lot of loyal men still out there.
For my birthday, all I ever wanted was someone to do this for me. So I ended up doing it myself, and it looks pretty very good.
Yeah, it looks great. And I think in some cases someone would be willing to do that for you. You just might need to tell them how much that would mean to you. And then of course something like that might be a little expensive, so maybe have lower expectations for everything else. And are you potentially willing to maybe do this for somebody else? I think sometimes we have desires that are like this, that are very unique or specific, and we can't expect the other person to read our mind. And this doesn't mean they don't love us or don't value us. It just means we need to tell them.
Men who aren't massive pieces of don't tend to get offended when women talk about the
Yes, because you're often lumping them with some of the worst people in their own gender. And you sit there acting like you're raising awareness. No, because you're not framing it as some men do blank. We hear a lot of women say, all men do blank. And even for the women that say that they're not talking about all men, that constant exposure to all of those negative generalizations can train people's minds that, men equal something negative. And do you ever consider how this might affect younger men who might not understand that the reason that you're saying this is because you're probably a little bit bitter over your past relationships, and how that might affect them overall and their mental health? Or is mental health only important when it's women? Not only that, but there's always that argument where if someone doesn't defend themselves, they're probably guilty, right? So he's supposed to sit back and listen to you say whatever you want and never defend himself? It's one thing to talk about some of the bad apples out there. You need to specify it.
Your husband knows how to find onions. He knows what onions look like. He's texting you to punish you.
I don't know what specific video she's talking about per se, but let's play the other side of it. If you put onions on the grocery list, did she mean these? Or these? This? How about this one? This one? Or maybe she didn't want fresh one, she wanted frozen. Or this frozen one. Or maybe even canned. This? Or this? I think the majority of us can agree that men know what onions are typically. But if you're the type of woman that gets really upset if he brings home the slightly wrong one, do keep in mind that he might be more likely to text you and double check over grabbing what he thinks is best. And if you don't want him to do this, clarify this and trust his judgment on that. Realize if you wanted yellow onions, he might come home with white onions or something. I think if he texts you, that doesn't necessarily mean he's doing weaponized incompetence or he wants to annoy you. It might be that he genuinely cares and wants to make sure it's done right.
About becoming better players, so they take lessons and they get really obsessed about having cute little outfits for all of it, and all of the equipment and all of the other this and that and the other. They get really caught up in it and they think that they're going to become better players because of all this, and the reality is most of them don't. They just continue spending all of this money on this time suck and on this money suck. You've had an 18 handicap for the last 15 years. You're not Tiger Woods. You're not even his distant cousin.
So because he gets super into a hobby that he genuinely enjoys and is having fun with, he's not allowed to buy the outfits or lessons or whatnot. He's not allowed to fully engage and enjoy the hobby because he's not a professional or anything. No one faults women for spending money on their appearance, even if it doesn't really improve their appearance. No one faults women for spending money on their hobbies, even if they're not good at it. I thought the whole point of having a hobby is to have fun and enjoy it, not necessarily about getting better. And if they want to get competitive, fine, great. It doesn't make them less than though if they're still not that great at it. This video is really about men being selfish because they have hobbies. But are men only on this planet to work? Seriously?
She asked me the other day if I went through my husband's phone, and I was like, no, unless the master menu needs to be updated. She was like, master menu? I'm like, yeah, y'all don't have this? So this is the notes in my husband's phone under my name. If you're going to Zaxby's, don't call me, just order a grilled chicken sandwich with no tomato. If I'm going to Taco Bell, give me a chicken quesadilla. You going to McDonald's, get me one cheeseburger with...
Okay, I don't like the last one on that list. Guess she really doesn't like that restaurant. But in general, this is really smart. I like this. And of course, ideally you have a general idea of what your partner likes so you can order for them, and they'll probably like what you get them. But this just goes to show that they have good communication in their relationship. I actually think people should do this for gifts too. Just have a list of stuff that you kinda want, and then you hold back from buying it, and then your partner can just check their list and maybe get you something off of it if it's within budget. That way you can get exactly what you want, but you're not 100% sure what they're getting you per se. I think more often we need to make things easier and more efficient for our partner. It completely eliminates potential arguments.
I honestly think that most men would appreciate this because then they wouldn't have to read your mind. Then they would know, oh, she wants this. Oh, she might want this. And then it's a beautiful thing to be armed with knowledge. Because if a man knows exactly what you want, because you tell him, surprise, surprise, then he could say, Sprite tastes like this. If she likes Sprite, maybe she'll like this drink that they have. Maybe she'll want to try this new drink. Or he could say, I'm going to get her a Sprite. I'm going to get her the regular meal, but they got this new thing that's come out. I'm going to get it for her so she can try it. I don't know if she'll. And then if she does like it, we update the menu. If she don't like it, no biggie. We never buy it again. But it's a new experience for both of y'all. You see how communication works? You see how communication unlocks doors? Simply by saying this is what I want and not making him go around here and go around there and learn by trial and error. You see how that works?
And if you're a good communicator, sometimes these are the absolute best men to date. Because he won't do things for you just because his ex liked it. He'll ask you what you like, and that will shape how he treats you when he knows your preferences. And a lot of less experienced men out there are very loyal. And once they realize they can trust you, they're willing to invest very deeply. The worst that he can say is no. Ever notice we never give that advice to women? Which is funny because it's actually pretty accurate when you think about it. A lot of men will let a woman down easy if he's not into her. Like, maybe for her it's a little bit awkward for a minute because she had to get up the courage to go ask him out, and us ladies aren't used to doing that. Then maybe some of her girlfriends will tease her a little bit, but that's pretty much it. But when a man gets rejected, it follows him for years. Whether it's screenshotted or someone recorded the entire thing and posted it and it went viral, entire friend groups will label that man as creepy for even trying to ask this woman out. And some women out there genuinely do want men to continue approaching, even though a lot of men rightfully won't. We need to stop accusing men of being desperate when they ask out a woman. Also, telling someone that the worst that they can say is no is a little bit invalidating towards the feelings that they may have, because it takes a lot of courage to not only approach, but it hurts a lot when you're rejected. So even if the person is graceful and says no, it still is going to hurt. I feel like this is another way we invalidate men's feelings and overall experience.
Do they get so shy, all beet red in the face, and like happy if you just like give him a kiss on the cheek? Like if I kiss a guy on the cheek without fail every time, he's so happy, like it's adorable, you know? I'm like, you want another one? Like,
it's because for a lot of men, they don't get stuff like this. They don't get this type of attention. So yeah, if he's enjoying it, keep going. Like even something as simple as a compliment, men almost never get. So it makes it so easy for us ladies to really make a man feel really special and important.
When I'm in Iraq, men actually notice me. Like they actually look at me, can see the desire in their eyes. They somehow indirectly connect with your femininity. Not that I need it, not that I go out and say, okay, today's the day I'm gonna get looked at by men. No, but I notice that they notice me. And the truth is, I feel like a woman.
Oh, that's because men in the West heard loud and clear when we said, don't look at me, don't approach me. Were they supposed to not listen to us when we said that? We've penalized men for approaching wrong. They were taught to respect a woman's space. And we constantly call out those men for making women uncomfortable or creeping. So now they hold back. They try to avoid looking even in your general direction, especially at the gym. We can't tell men over and over again to not stare at us, to not approach, and don't make assumptions, and then wonder why they stop doing it. A lot of men are trying to find that happy middle, where they're being respectful, but they're also being confident, where they're not perceived as threatening, but also assertive enough for you. And also, if you want to feel more feminine, it's your job to cultivate that in yourself. You shouldn't be relying on strangers giving you validation to fully be able to step into your identity if that's what it is. Oh, the worst that she can say is no is one of the most dangerous lies we keep feeding younger men. She might laugh in your face while her friends record it. You might end up in a TikTok viral post as that creepy guy because you asked her to lunch. A lot of men wish no was the worst that would happen. Sadly, that's not the case. And this advice doesn't help anybody. In some cases, it might teach some men to ignore social cues. She starts showing signs of maybe not enjoying the conversation or trying to get away. Instead of maybe taking that and being like, okay, I need to pull back or back off, he keeps going because the worst she can say is no, right? And unfortunately, a lot of women aren't blunt enough to just be like, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And not only that, but rejection is not completely harmless in general. It hurts. It just encourages men to just keep asking until you get a yes, while ignoring the damage to their self-worth and self-esteem every time they do it. We should be teaching men some of the signals that she may not be into it, and we should be teaching women to be more blunt. And what's funny and terrible is we don't give women the same advice when it actually is the case. Because a lot of men, if not interested, will just say no. Because they've experienced rejection themselves enough times that they usually let the woman down nicely. And guys, tell me the worst that you've had happen to you when you've been rejected.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if a man offers a walk, a coffee, or a hike for a first date, he does not value you. Or he's cheap, or broke, and he's not dateable. But if you accept, you've got low self-esteem and you gotta work on that.
Or if you really just don't want to go for the walk on the first date, why not just say that? Later in the video, she says delete and block him or unmatch him or whatever, if he even suggests that. Like, you're so much above going for a walk around the park. It's a walk, it makes sense. It's like the idea for grocery store dates where you both grab a cart and you go grocery shopping while talking and getting to know each other, and then you pay for your own groceries and leave. People are saying that they want fast and efficient dates. Well, here you go. And how hard is it to be like, well, I appreciate you asking, but I kind of prefer sit-down type of dates. Would you be open to that? How hard is it to respond like that? You say that the women who accept walking dates have low self-esteem, which isn't the case at all. But if you want to look like you have high self-esteem and confidence, responding like that nicely is the best way to show him that. Or helping plan the date, making decisions. Ghosting in that situation is the coward move. You can express boundaries without ghosting people.
You give an ugly guy a chance, he thinks he rules the world. Literally, I swear to God. Because they got a hot girl, they can be horrible.
Imagine being so insecure that the only comeback that you have when a man doesn't tolerate your bad behavior is, he's still ugly though. I mean, you dated him, so now he's ugly? You were into him. You probably started off hyping him up, bragging about him to all your friends. And then he didn't obey you. And over time, instead of thinking, oh, maybe he's not the right match for me, you have to put him down by attacking his appearance, just so you can regain power and win the breakup. And this is why so many men see the red flag of a woman who acts like she's doing you a favor by dating you. Because the second you show any confidence or try to set a boundary or even just disagree with her, she will do what she needs to tear you down. This is why dating doesn't work nowadays. You think that because you're attractive, you're allowed to disrespect anybody or treat anybody how you want to. You think you're above them. And if anyone pushes back, you remind them that you consider them beneath you. And when you treat a man like that, don't be surprised when he upgrades. Imagine if a man made this video with something else. This is why so many men are avoiding dating, because they're treated like walking wallets rather than human beings. This video is embarrassing. A lot of men work jobs they don't even like, so they can build a better life for themselves and their family. A lot of men pay for dates, not knowing if you're actually interested in them. They fix stuff, they build things, they do things around the house, they bring so much to the table, only to be told they don't bring anything except money. And heck, sometimes you guys don't even give them credit for that. This is why so many men ask themselves, if I stopped paying, would she still like me? And the funny thing is, you would probably say that you want a man that invests in you, builds with you, makes your life better, but you might not bring anything. I can't wait until it's not trendy to post stuff like this anymore. Because I feel like half the women that do it, that's the only reason why.
I'm 30. So how do I tell a man I want him to come over just to make out?
That's it. You say that. For a lot of men, blunt communication like that is so refreshing. You don't need to hint or play little games. He probably won't catch them anyways. So if that's what you really want, just tell him that. Exactly that.
There's no such thing as a woman having high standards. It's men who have high entitlements and low effort. We're not buying it anymore. Thank you.
But women put a lot of effort into their relationships. A lot of women go into relationships expecting a man to act like a husband without acting like a wife. And let's be real here, what do men ask for out of relationships? They want a woman they're somewhat attracted to, so a pretty lady. She's got to be nice. She needs to be reasonable. Pay for a date here and there. Like, how is that high entitlement? Men are asking for the minimum. And for a lot of men, if you're willing to invest in your relationship and treat him right, he'll move mountains for you. So how is that low effort? I love this, and I especially love it if she's the one that bought those for him. This type of light, playful energy in a relationship is how you keep it going long term. And also, I'm assuming she might be tanning or something, so they're both doing what they want together. I feel like more couples need to do stuff like this because sometimes there's pressure to do the same thing as your partner every single day, every single time. I thought we wanted men to treat us like equals. The seats are first come, first serve, so he wants the seat. He gets it. It's that simple. If he's first, I don't understand what you're looking for with this.
Well, the one thing that men know about modern women is they're going to figure out a way to make it your fault. They're going to figure out a way to shame you. They're going to figure out a way to nag and complain. They're going to figure out a way to make your life miserable. If they're miserable, they're going to figure out a way to try to make your life miserable. I mean, it's outside of the realm of happy wife, happy life now. It's into happy woman, happy life. We don't even have to be married. But you as a man who don't even know me from anybody else got to make me happy. You as a man who who never even seen me a day in your life. You've got to read my mind and read my body language and know exactly what I'm thinking. Why would it just a terrible existence with these modern women?